You can tell the bottom of the end bearing plate by these two parallel rows of 2 slots. Please make sure to use the bottom 2 slots for 12-inch radius horizontal track, and the upper 2 slots for 15-inch radius horizontal track. Fasten the wall flange on the end bearing plate to the wood jamb by first drilling a 3/16-inch pilot hole and attach with one 5/16-inch by 1 5/8-inch lag screw. On 12-inch radius horizontal track, each end bearing plate should also be attached with 3/8-inch by 3/4-inch carriage bolts and 3/8-inch nuts. Insert the center bearing plate between the cones and attach using 3/8-inch hex head bolts and nuts. Then, with the help of your assistant, lift the complete torsion spring tube assembly and slide the ends of the tube into the bearing on the end bearing plates. Drill 2 3/16 pilot holes for the red-headed lag screws for the center plate. These pilot holes must be no closer than 1 1/2 inch from the sides and ends of the wood anchor pad. With the tube level, mount the center bearing plate to the center anchor pad using two 5/16-inch by 1 5/8-inch long red-coated lag screws. Note that the red-coated fasteners must be installed for the attachment of the center bearing plate. The red-coated fasteners indicate that this part will be under extreme tension once the spring is wound. The center bearing plate resists the considerable counter torque of the springs. This is why the wood anchor pad must be installed to the frame of the garage as instructed. Next, center the spring in the center bearing plate and tighten the bolts. Thread the cable that is attached to each bottom bracket up between the wall and roller shafts to the cable drum like this. Place the cable in the notch on the cable drum. To remove the slack in the cable, turn the cable drum and slide it up tight against the end bearing plate. Make sure the cable follows the grooves in the cable drum. Next, hold the cable taut and tighten the set screws on the cable drum with a 3/8-inch box wrench. Set screws should be turned from 3/4 to 1 full turn after they have made contact with the tube. Use locking pliers clamped to the torsion spring tube to maintain tension on the cable. Repeat this procedure for the opposite side. Check for a straight line drawn across the length of each spring. If no line is present, draw one using a piece of chalk or a marker. This will be used to indicate the number of turns on the springs when we tension the springs. Next, we will insert the 2 winding bars all the way into the winding cone. Make sure you use solid metal winding bars designed for this task. Never use screwdrivers or other substitutes for winding bars. When winding